Welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. We are backstage at the Orpheum for the second time today, but this time I am joined by the insanely talented Declan McKenna, all the way from across the pond. How are you today, sir?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So this is your first time touring in Boston, correct?
It is, yes.
That has to be exciting, getting to see different parts of America as you go through playing some shows.
Yeah. It's been a crazy couple of months. I've been back and forth here, and seeing loads of new cities and stuff. It's awesome.
What's been one of the biggest quirks that you've noticed about sort of seeing the States?
Well, every city's really different, really different, which I never really expected. I don't know, biggest quirks. There's, I think, is one. I noticed this the first day I got to America, the toilet water.
Okay.
It's a lot higher here.
Interesting.
There you go.
Okay,
the UK ones are a little bit more like airplane toilets, where there's only water right at the bottom.
Well, that might be why half of our country is in drought. That could definitely...
They're using too much water. There you go.
Exactly. We have a solution now. But one of the things that I really appreciate about you is you take your inspiration for songwriting from so many different places. Whether it be Brazil about FIFA, or can you help me with the pronunciation? I'm sorry.
Isambard. Wait, which
Isambard.
one?
Well, Isambard too.
Oh, paracetamol.
Paracetamol. Yes, yeah. Exactly.
You guys call it Tylenol, I think.
Okay, so that would explain it.
That's the same sort of thing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, okay, good. Now I feel like a little bit less of an idiot. But, I mean, 3 songs with just 3 really sort of diverse range of inspiration. What has been one of the weirdest places that you found inspiration, one of the weirdest things that you found to, write about?
I sort of take influence from so many different places. I often write about lots of different things at once, which can be a bit confusing, especially when someone's listening and they're like, "What is this about?" The weirdest place. I suppose Brazil's kind of the weirdest one. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know, I never really expected to write a song about, football.
Well, and then a year later to have your song, not that song, Isambard, be featured on the FIFA soundtrack. Which I'm like, did the execs sort of, look into Brazil before they put that on there?
Yeah, I think I actually sort of had a Twitter conversation with one of the guys involved with that. I think it's a kind of completely different department. Well, I think it's the game is kind of separate from FIFA, the football organization or something. So I think it's maybe slightly different, but it's so funny. I mean, it was always a dream of mine to have a song on FIFA, and then I kind of thought about it wow, I'd totally slated FIFA in my first single, and then it happened, which is crazy. I mean, in the UK, FIFA's a massive deal for young kids, growing up throughout school. All the kids had FIFA and played it, and it's crazy. It's really, really exciting for me.
Yeah, and sort of speaking of young kids, one of the things that I appreciate about you is you take no shit. I'm going to read you a quote that you said: "I don't care that I'm 17. I'm a musician and should be viewed in the same way as other older musicians do. I don't want to be a special snowflake because I'm young. If I put something out, that's because I'd rather be told it's shit, not good for my age. I could write an essay about it. I don't think people realize how patronizing of a statement is. That's impressive for your age." Yeah. I'm 18, you're 17. I'm sure a lot of people look at this and go, "Oh, that's cute. They're talking to each other." But it's doing something. I've never been interested in doing something that's impressive for my age.
I think it's kind of like many things when people talk about your age, it's a backhanded compliment. I think a lot of people just assume that young people are incapable of things or incapable of some things or unintelligent, and I just think it's not true. I think a lot of younger people these days are at least showing themselves to be a lot more intelligent than the older generation. I mean, we have sort of Donald Trump as one of the front runners for the presidential campaign. That's not because of people my age.
Yeah.
That's not because of people my age, because people my age can't vote. So,
Yeah, no. I mean, exactly. And then the other thing is, if you are a young musician, you're expected to sing about things like "she's pretty" or "I find it and that's not something that you conform to, which I also really appreciate.
Thank you.
And then it sort of reminded me of something else that you said. It's there are not a lot of of young artists who actually represent young people in a genuine way and not a way that's exaggerated or overdone.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is? Because, again, people have these thoughts about FIFA, about issues regarding the trans community, police brutality. These are conversations that young people have, but it doesn't reflect in music.
Yeah, I think just throughout music, maybe people look for something slightly more lighthearted, or at least in the last couple of years. I think recently there have been a couple of bands kind of breaching that gap. I think Earl Sweatshirt's one who sort of speaks out about a lot of sort of social issues, and Sleaford Mods from the UK. I don't know if they're very big over here, but
I've heard of them. I haven't listened to them.
They're another sort of cool political band, and I feel like young people, at least my friend groups and stuff of young people do care about social problems and things that are going on in the world. I just don't think it's reflected well, and I don't think the songs that are chosen to be heard or chosen to be on the radio and stuff generally reflect young people as much as I think they should be. So I think that's where a lot of the belief that young people aren't intelligent comes from.
Yeah, exactly. The damn millennials. One of the interesting things that you sort of brought up was your friend group. I mean, my friend group thinks it's pretty cool that I just get to meet people like you. I can only imagine being the person like that I meet, what your friend group must think of what you're doing back, out here and around the state.
I think after a while they just kind of get bored of it.
Yeah.
It's very, a lot of the stuff is very exciting, and like doing stuff like Jules Holland and getting on FIFA. All my friends are like, what? But then past that, it's just like, we're kind of bored of it.
Who were you on a Jules Holland with? Who were the other artists?
It was crazy. It was Barry Gibb from the PGs, who one of my favorite bands. Nora Jones.
Oh my God.
Slaves, and Lisa Hannigan. It was amazing.
Lisa Hannigan. She is someone who is not getting enough credit.
She's incredible. I hadn't listened to any of her music, and I sort of chatted to her briefly when I was there. She's just incredible. Her voice is insane.
Yeah, and just her way of looking at the world, I just find so interesting too.
Yeah, she did like on Jules Holland like an a cappella performance, and I was just like, that is so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and to be able to be that vulnerable and on television.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing.
So when you're talking to these, for lack of better words, more established artists, what type of advice are they giving you, or what type of advice could you give to people that want to make music?
Oh, advice.
You're now in that position now where you can give advice. How crazy is that?
Advice. I think the best advice is just kind of keep doing it and try and maybe focus on quality over quantity. Before I sort of, got picked up after I released Brazil, I had like 2 albums worth of demos online, which no one was ever going to listen to. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you shouldn't feel like you need to release stuff until you got something which you think is really, really good. I think that's the advice I would give to a musician. Just kind of keep doing it, because there is so much time out there for you to do it. But I'm trying to think of what advice I've been given by artists. I'm just one of those ones on the spot where I'm sure there's loads of stuff. I just can't think of anything.
No, don't worry about it. Well, that's good that a lot of artists who take the time to sort of give advice, which is always helpful. So this is another question that requires a little bit of thinking. If you could steal a song from anyone, make the song that knows it as a Declan McKenna song. Oh, good. All right. So if you have more than one, feel free.
I have so many. How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees.
Okay.
Because that chorus is crazy. It doesn't have a hook. It doesn't repeat itself. The whole chorus is like, it keeps changing. Mm-hmm. Like the melody doesn't repeat itself. It's so good. Life on Mars, David Bowie.
Oh yeah, of course.
Greatest song of all time, without question. We're not arguing over that. Maybe one more, like Little Girl Blue by Nina Simone.
I've heard so much about Nina Simone in the past couple interviews I've done.
Really?
I think she's having a resurgence. Yes.
Maybe there was I don't know, like a gold album or something released.
Yeah.
But I'm such a big fan of her, and the way she sort of has her own material, and then she's also kind of, a lot of her hit songs you don't even know until you look into them, are just completely different versions of other songs. Cinnamon, for example, My Baby Just Cares For Me, they're just like songs that have been just completely reworked by her, and I think, she's a genius.
Perfect. And then I want to go back to something you said earlier about, quality over quantity. I mean, you've released an EP and a single, and that really sort of has, without an album, you've been able to capture a ton of attention. Yeah. Was that something important to you, not rushing an album?
Absolutely. I think I've just been trying to write as many good songs as possible, and I feel like I just don't see the point in releasing or making an album earlier than I need to. I think people want to hear an album, but I think as a general rule, would be happier for you to get out there more, and once you do have an album, be able to tour in more places and play to more people, because at the end of the day, that's only going to happen if more people are listening to your music. So I've just kind of tried to keep working on making good songs and releasing them slowly, and just putting out material that I like and hope other people would like. I think that's just kind of in the simplest form what you got to do.
That's the way you got to look at it. That's how you make good music. And then you do a ton of these interviews, I'm sure. The questions must get repeated, must get boring. What do you wish you were asked less about, or what do you wish you were asked more often?
That's good. That's a good question. What do I wish I was asked less about? Oh, there's a lot of... I was talking to my friend Harry. Have you heard of a band called Peace?
Peace, no.
They're really big in the UK, actually. They're like a sort of indie rock band. But I was talking to him, he's like the singer, and he was like, one question that he used to get, he's a little bit older now, but one question he used to get asked maybe 5 years ago was like, what do your parents think?
What do your parents think?
And he was just like, I'm not going to say like they hate me.
Yeah, exactly.
that's kind of, I guess that's kind of a funny one. I get asked, a lot of the time you just going into depth about the songs you've written is quite, not bad, it's just, you get it a lot, and it can be quite, especially with the subject matters I really try and get it right. It can be quite stressful. Yeah. That's one that's, kind of difficult, but I suppose it's important that people, and great that people want to know what my song's about. What I wish I would be asked more, I don't know, maybe something funny.
Okay.
I don't know.
Exactly. Well, the kids interview bands people.
That was hilarious.
I wish I could get away with asking those types of questions, but I totally can't. It's not as cute when I do it at all.
See, that's like, that kind of stuff is loads of fun, but it's very that was a very quirky little interview. This is just really, really cute as well.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's sort of like, again, going back to the age thing. It's like, oh, do you do something like kids interview bands? I'm like, no, not really. I don't draw with chalk before each thing, and then But in any event, this will be my last question. Okay. What are you listening to? Who has your ear right now?
The new Clipping record is great. They just remixed Isambard, actually.
Oh, sweet.
But they're like this hip hop production trio, like sort of industrial hip hop. It's amazing, the new record, as is their one before. I like the Lemon Twigs. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
They're kind of new. I only just found out of them recently. We were playing at the same festival in Amsterdam, and they're really, really cool. Who else? And I've been listening to a lot of MF Doom.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much, Declan. The artist is Declan McKenna. The EP is Liar. Isambard is the latest single. Kill it out there tonight, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you.